Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making pressure cooker roast beef stew. Alright guys, I'm starting out here with roughly a 2.5 pound chuck roast. And what I'm making is I'm taking a chuck roast beef, and I'm going to turn it into beef stew. So it's going to be really big in flavor, so it's going to really taste good. So I'm going to start out by seasoning my chuck roast with some pepper. And guys, I'm using my old school pressure cooker that we use on top of the stove, just to show you that they're not as scary as it seems. And this one has a lot of safety features in it, so you have nothing to worry about. I'm going to put some garlic salt on here. And another nice thing about them is they heat up warmer or quicker than an electric pressure cooker. They cook at a higher pressure, so they get the job done a little quicker. And they're a lot cheaper. This one here costs like $39 at Walmart. It's all stainless steel. It's a Presto. I'm going to put some onion powder on this. And I'm adding a little bit of accent. If you don't have none, don't worry about it, but it really, like it says, wakes up the flavors of your food. It really makes them taste good. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this seasoning on the other side. When I get this all seasoned up, I'll bring it back. Alright guys, now that I got my chuck roast all seasoned up, I have my pressure cooker heating on the stove here. And this comes up to heat a lot quicker. I think I already mentioned that. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in here. And I cut my chuck roast in half. The reason I did that is because it will get more tender and it will cook quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and get the first half in there. I'm going to brown it up, and when that half's done, I'm going to brown the other half up. When I'm done doing all that, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, now that my chuck roast is nice and brown, I turn my heat down a little bit. I'm going to add a little more oil in the pressure cooker. And guys, this is a 6-quart pressure cooker. They also sell an 8-quart. I'm going to add 1 large onion I diced up into the pressure cooker. And we're going to saute this for a few minutes. Get a nice caramelization on it. The reason we're doing this is because we're going to build some really big flavors in our stew. Okay, now that I allowed my onions to saute for just a few minutes, you can see how nice and brown they're getting. I'm going to take 4 cups of beef broth and dump it in the pressure cooker. Now you see how it's coming out nice and smooth, it's not chugging. I put a little hole in the top of the box. If you cover that, it's going to chug because it's going to try to replace that air in there that's not getting through the pour spout. Now with the stovetop pressure cooker, this builds up to 15 pounds per square inch of pressure. Your electric one will do 12 pounds. Excuse me. And you want to cook your chuck roast in the stovetop one for 12 minutes per pound, and your electric one would be 15 minutes per pound. And I'm just going to give this a stir to stir up that goodness on the bottom of the pot, because that's going to build flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this for about 35 minutes, since it's a 2.5 pound roast, a little over. And when the pressure's done building up, I'm going to let it do a natural release of the pressure. That'll make the meat more tender. I'm going to get my chuck roast down in there. I'm going to turn my heat up on high. And guys, I'll show you the lid to this. Now this seems like a lot of liquid. That roast is going to put off some liquid, but the reason is because it's going to be stew, so we want some gravy. I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on here, guys. Now, like your electric pressure cooker, you know how the little button pops up? In here, there's a little button that pops up, and this here's a little rubber plug. This will pop up too when the pressure builds. I got to put my weight on here. And what this does is if the pressure would get too high, let's say I leave it on high, I would walk away and forget about it, that would blow out of there and all that steam and pressure would escape rather than the pressure cooker exploding like you've heard with your grandma's pressure cooker. So this here has the convenience of your grandma's pressure cooker with the high pressure, but it also has the safety features of an electric pressure cooker. Now when this comes up to pressure, this here will start jiggling. I'll bring you guys back so you can see that. Okay guys. My pin popped up here, my little plug popped up. You can see it's starting to come to pressure because the little weight is starting to move. A little bit of steam is dripping out onto the lid. Now I'm going to cut my heat back to medium. And I'm going to set my timer, I'll use the one on the stove, for 35 minutes. Now, what I'm going to do is when my time's up, I'm going to take this off the heat and let it do a natural release of the pressure for 15 minutes. Then there's 2 ways I can release the rest of that pressure out of it. I can either take this weight off the top and the pressure will release, or I can run this under cool water and that'll drop the pressure. I'm just going to take the weight off. So when my 35 minutes are up and my 15 minutes for this come down from pressure, most of the pressure belt, there'll be a little bit left in there. When that time is up, I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, I pulled my roast beef out of there after I let that do that natural release of the pressure, and I put this back on the heat. Now I'm going to 4 more cups of beef broth in there, and I'm going to taste this for seasoning. It's probably going to need a little more salt. So that's a total of 8 cups of beef broth. Let me grab a spoon. stir. And I'm just scraping the spices off the side of the pressure cooker that got stuck on there. Yeah, that needs a little more salt. So I'm going to go ahead and put in about 2 teaspoons of salt. Now guys, I know some of you are going to frown on this, but I'm going to double dip, but that's okay because this is my family. If I was cooking this for guests, I wouldn't do this. So there's really no harm in this. Give that a taste. That's good right there. Now I'm going to add in my vegetables. I have 2 stalks of celery here I diced up. They're going in. And I have roughly about 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes I diced up. They're going in. I left the skins on, guys, for 2 reasons. One, because the skins are full of vitamins, calcium, fiber. And 2, it's just easier that way than to peel the potatoes. I'm getting my potatoes in there. Give my hands a quick dry. Now I'm going to add in a 12-ounce bag of frozen peas and carrots. Now you could cut fresh carrots in here and use frozen peas or canned peas, or even shuck your own fresh peas, whatever. But I'm taking the quick way out. Let me give that a stir. I'm going to put my lid back on here. I'm going to bring this up to pressure, and I'm going to pressure cook this for 6 minutes. When my 6 minutes are up, I'll do a quick release of the pressure. And while that's pressure cooking, I'm going to shred my beef up, get the fat out of there, and get that ready to go back in. Alright guys, my 6 minutes are up. Now I'm going to release this pressure. I'm going to show you how much more pressure a stovetop pressure cooker builds up than an electric one. Right now that my pressure's released, I'm going to add my beef back in. My potatoes got kind of tender. I should have gave them like 4 minutes because I underestimated the power of the stovetop pressure cooker. But they'll still be good, guys. And you can see this is a lot of beef, and this just shredded like butter. Very tender. And guys, if you're interested in this pressure cooker, like I said, you can get it at Walmart for $39. This is stainless steel. You can get a aluminum one for $29. But I would suggest spending the extra $10 because this one's induction ready and all that good stuff. Now I have a cornstarch slurry here. It's 3 heaping tablespoons of cornstarch and about 1/2 cup of water. I'm going to turn my heat back on here. And I'm going to stir in my cornstarch and allow this to thicken up. And that shouldn't take long at all, guys. So this should just take a minute. When it's thickened up, then I'll bring it back. Alright guys, my stew is nice and thick. It's ready to go. Let's go ahead and fix up a bowl and see what we got. Alright guys, let me get in there and give this a try. Start with a little bit of that broth and vegetables. Really well seasoned. Like I said, my potatoes got a little overdone. They're still going to be good. I should let that go for about 4 minutes. Hot. That's really good. Those potatoes took on that beef flavor. And now for the star to show some of this roast beef. And guys, this stuff is super tender. Tender, moist, delicious. Alright, there you have it guys. Pressure cooker roast beef stew. Give it a try. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya.